Hey everyone, and welcome back to Outta Here Baseball. In this video, we'll be doing power rankings for the month of April. This video comes at the request of some of our subscribers, so thank you all for the suggestion. We'll be ranking all the teams in the MLB based on their performance through April, as well as naming a few awards favorites so far. Just keep in mind that 1 month is a short amount of time, so there hasn't been a lot of time for players and teams to really distance themselves from the pack performance-wise. So let's get right into it with our April power rankings. In 30th is the Miami Marlins. In case you haven't heard, the Marlins are pretty bad, especially offensively. Lewis Brinson was sent to the minors, but one bright spot is pitcher Caleb Smith, who we will touch on later. In 29th is the Baltimore Orioles. Their pitching has been atrocious, having allowed the most homers in the majors, but there are a few offensive bright spots like Trey Mancini, who looks set to be the team's lone all-star rep come July. In 28th, we have the Kansas City Royals. Hunter Dozier has his name in the MVP race through the first month of the season as he leads the AL in OPS. The Royals have had a few offensive standouts, but the poor pitching, and especially the bullpen, has made it a rough start in Kansas City. In 27th is the San Francisco Giants. This is what happens when you keep a core of players together for too long. The Giants have far too many players on the wrong side of 30 and will need to trade away a lot of their pitchers in order to get younger. In 26th is the Detroit Tigers. This team has outperformed their run differential thanks to some great pitching from Matt Boyd, Spencer Turnbull, and Shane Green. The offense hasn't been all that great and ranks last in the league in homers. In 25th is the Chicago White Sox. Tim Anderson and Yoan Moncada have both been great and continue to improve as part of the young offensive core. The starting rotation has really hurt this team, and you gotta hope one of their pitching prospects emerges as the ace of this staff. In 24th, we have the LA Angels. Mike Trout is an MVP frontrunner, and in other news, grass is green. Similar to the White Sox, the pitching rotation has been the major weakness, but somehow this team's run differential is just -5. In 23rd is the Boston Red Sox. Maybe this is a bit too low for the reigning world champs, but they are finally trending upward after a horrid start. Mookie Betts is looking like himself again, but the Sox will need better production from their starting rotation. In 22nd is the Cincinnati Reds. One of the few teams with a losing record and a positive run differential, the Reds have finally seen growth in their young pitchers, with Luis Castillo emerging as an ace. Let's just hope the offense comes around before the pitching gives out. In 21st is the Colorado Rockies. Not many offensive players have produced for this team aside from the usual stars like Arenado, Story, and Blackmon. The pitching staff has done well enough to keep them in a tight NL race. In 20th, it's the Oakland Athletics. The ever-changing carousel that is the Oakland starting rotation has lacked in consistency both in personnel and results. The offense has picked up the slack, with Matt Chapman proving he is among the best players in the game. In 19th, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's tough to get a gauge on how good this team is with such a poor offense and one of the best performing pitching staffs in the league. Joe Musgrove and Felipe Vasquez have both been exceptional on the mound. And 18th is the Washington Nationals. I feel like every year the Nationals bullpen has been the team's biggest weakness. Not everyone in the pen has been bad, but if this team wants to compete in a tight division, they'll need help in that department. And 17th is the Texas Rangers. Combine the third highest scoring offense with one of the worst pitching staffs in baseball, and you get the Rangers. If the offense slows down at all, this team will likely fall in the standings. And 16th is the Toronto Blue Jays. Stroman, Sanchez, and Shoemaker have all been fantastic in the rotation, and with Vlad Jr. in the lineup, this team could make a surprise wildcard push. In 15th is the Atlanta Braves. This team has used quite a few different pitchers in the rotation to this point, but not everyone has been successful. Once they find some consistency on the mound, the Braves should improve because the offense has done their part so far. In 14th, we have the New York Mets. Once the star pitchers start performing to the level they're capable of, this team may also trend upwards. Like the Braves, their offense has done well, with Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil leading the charge. And 13th is the San Diego Padres. The National League playoff race is wide open, and the Padres are right there in the thick of things. Rookies Chris Paddock and Fernando Tatis Jr. have been great, and when Manny Machado gets going, this team should be fun to watch. And 12th is the Milwaukee Brewers. Christian Yelich is carrying this team at the moment with an unbelievably good first month of the season. But on the mound, this team hasn't looked as good. Even Zach Davies, with his league-leading 1.38 ERA, has some questionable underlying metrics. And 11th is the Arizona Diamondbacks. This team ended the month strong and has played pretty well on both sides of the ball. 28-year-old rookie Christian Walker with his .994 OPS is probably the surprise star of the season. In 10th is the Cleveland Indians. With an offense that hasn't been playing all that great, it's a good thing the Indians play in the weakest division. But you gotta expect that guys like Carlos Carrasco and Jose Ramirez are gonna start to play at the level they're capable of soon. In 9th, we have the Chicago Cubs. For all their early struggles, it's amazing that the Cubs have a winning record. They've been above average offensively and on the mound, and Jason Hayward has been an offensive force, so what's not to love? In 8th is the Philadelphia Phillies. The offense is drawing a ton of walks and has generated a lot of excitement to this point. Aaron Nola has been their worst pitcher statistically, so if he can turn it around, this team could get even better. In 7th is the Seattle Mariners. Home runs, and a lot of them, has been the Mariners' key to success to this point. The pitching has got to pick it up though, as they've allowed the third most runs in the league. In 6th is the Minnesota Twins. Before the season, we all hoped someone would give the Indians a run for their money in a weak AL Central, and the Twins have done just that. If they can capitalize on weak competition, this should make for a good division race. In 5th, we have the New York Yankees. Injuries. That has been the story of the Yankees so far, and somehow they have managed to keep a winning record. Also, Domingo Germán has emerged as a Cy Young contender. And 4th is the Houston Astros. The Astros have played really well and are only in 4th here because the teams ahead of them have just been that good. As of right now, I'd say they are the strongest team in the American League. And 3rd is the St. Louis Cardinals. The hottest team in baseball right now, the Cardinals are clicking with the bats and owe a lot of credit to some lockdown bullpen arms in Jordan Hicks, John Gant, and John Brebbia. And 2nd is the Tampa Bay Rays. No one expected the Rays to be quite this good. They have the best record in baseball and the best pitching staff, and can thank their success to a number of surprise performers, such as Tyler Glasnow and Austin Meadows, two of the players the Rays acquired for Chris Archer last season. And now for number 1, it's the LA Dodgers. Aside from Cody Bellinger, who we will touch on soon, this team has had a number of hot bats, and the main reason they rank above the Rays here is because of their immense depth. They are the team to beat in the National League. Now on to the award frontrunners through the first month of the season, and we'll start with Rookie of the Year. In the National League, Pete Alonso is the favorite, but has some tight competition in Christian Walker, Fernando Tatis, and Chris Paddock, among others. The American League doesn't have as many standouts, but we'll go with Brandon Lowe in first place, followed by Spencer Turnbull and Michael Chavis. The Cy Young Award is a hard one to call after just 1 month, since one good or bad start could swing your stats greatly. For the National League, Luis Castillo would be my top pick, followed by Caleb Smith and Zach Greinke, with Chris Paddock, Max Fried, Joe Musgrove, and Herman Marquez all right there as well. In the American League, I'll go with Tyler Glasnow, with Justin Verlander, Domingo Germán, Trevor Bauer, and Marcus Stroman in the race. National League MVP comes down to 2 players right now who had historically great months, Cody Bellinger and Christian Yelich. Bellinger leads the league in basically every offensive stat, so is the favorite thus far, but after Yelich would be Pete Alonso, Paul DeJong, and Javi Baez, among others. American League is a bit less clear, but Mike Trout seems the favorite at the moment, but Tim Anderson, Hunter Dozier, and Matt Chapman are among the other contenders. So that concludes our April Power Rankings and Award favorites. Do you agree with the rankings? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay notified on all the latest Outta Here baseball content. Thanks for watching.